Okay, great. It looks like it has a limitation, about 15 minutes as far as uploading, so I'm going to have to do this in more videos. In any event, let me start off from age 22 through 26. First off, okay, I take my career very seriously. It's very important. I didn't know about outsourcing. I don't even question what I was able to achieve at a later date. I'm extremely fortunate to gain that type of experience, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Okay? I'm 21, and no, I've never had more than a beer or two in my life. And that's just something that's never been included. Okay? Now, what I do have is extensive social science experience. And I have to honestly say that the transition to adulthood is a significant transition. And let me say that when I understood what was occurring in the family, okay, I'm the one who sought the wisdom to understand it. I'm the one who sought an LCSW individual counselor, okay? Resolved, fully understood. Initially, I did work employment jobs like most people do, and I worked as an electronics technician, and I can't remember all of them. I had my first job when I was 17, like everybody has. But I began, pursuing the field, the electronics field, and I do have to say, making that transition into adulthood is quite a challenge. I'm sure this is something that we all have our personal experience in. And I had wonderful parents. Boy, I look at what my father achieved, even though there were certain limitations he had, okay, and I understood it later from my mom. It's amazing what he achieved, and I highly look up to him. I can't say that it's a duplicate with me, but I think on my mother's side, it's that building on that curiosity. They have fantastic parents. I lost my dad very early at age 24. He finally did commit suicide. I don't understand why he did it, but I think I do now. I think that there's factors of the Great Depression that came into play. I believe that it was amazing what he achieved, and truly, maybe that's why it came out on me, as far as the one seeking an LCSW to come to a complete understanding. I'm the one who did that. I believe there was a change in technology, and I don't fully understand it. I just know it was horrible what happened. It never should have happened, but it did. And I don't know why he would do that, but he made that choice, okay? My mother continued to be an outstanding parent to me now. It's not perfect, but you might as well say it's about as good as it can get. I mean, she did everything she could. And I came up with a concept to create success, and what I experienced was a perfectly healthy economy. No, my father never was there to help me create success. I witnessed his clients in a very early age. I understood that it's creating success with an expertise or experience that's so vitally important. Now, I've learned a lot here. And let me just say that you're getting to know me much better. And what I'm going to share with you, I understand now. I'm extremely fortunate to have gained this type of experience, which I'm about to share with you. I want to give it away. It was given to me. So, is there anything more? You know, I mean, I was giving you a good rundown of my background, and, you know, yes, I am definitely considered on the high. Please, please take that the right way. See, I build on curiosity. That's the only way I know what's true about myself, you know? And, as far as deviating from the norm, never, never. I'd seek some individual counseling right off the bat. If there was ever a reason, if there was anything, you know, anything in that context, I would definitely, one time in my life. Now, I've sought the wisdom from professionals in that respect, just in general, you know, conversations. And you know, I've learned a lot. And, of course, my nature is to go back 50-50 head on. It's interesting, my makeup, you know, because most people have the beliefs told, boom, that's the way it is. And with me, sure, I had wisdom to make sure, you know, there were corrections, not perfect, but about as good as it gets. It's an outstanding background that I come from. With that wisdom of building on curiosity, growth, and maturity, that is head on. Very, very fortunate. Remember, I mentioned from age 4. If you look at someone, that curiosity, growth, and maturity goes on indefinitely at the highest level, I can guarantee you, what I understand is I've had a lot of people tell me I'm on the high side of intelligence, and yet I truly believe everyone's equal. And I have absolutely no history of anything medically as far as, you know, anything more than just individual counseling. I do have to admit my skills, you know, were affected by outsourcing. So that transition is quite challenging to adulthood, but I achieved it, okay? I achieved some very valuable experience, and then comes the next challenge. But I'll work up to that, okay? What I can honestly say is I have a long history of being considered on the high side. Middle class all the way, but definitely very successful, very successful. I'm extremely fortunate to gain what I understand, and I'm going to share that with you soon. So, sure, I believe for, you know, the children and parents, you know, that is a big one. And for me, unfortunately, I believe that it was very sad that there's always a solution. And there's curiosity, growth, and maturity goes on indefinitely in the healthiest context. And the only thing I've experienced throughout life is the highest level of honesty, integrity, in the healthiest context. That is very common in Lake County, Illinois, and you're talking about Deerfield, Glencoe, Highland Park, Lake Forest, all of that. That's where I come from, and that's where it should have stayed, okay? And wherever I go, I'm building on curiosity, and I'm learning. No, I understand my perception. Very accurate. I do have to admit I'm prone to assuming, okay? It takes a whole lifetime to validate it. Very fortunate. I thank God I've become whole in that respect. Now, growing up, you know, my first half of my first period was when I was 24. I'm halfway grown up there. And the next half happened very early too. A little bit later, I'll get to that. Okay? And so, My mother did everything she could to be a great parent. I'm going to say it's not perfect, but it's as good as it gets. Yes, I do have a history of coming to a complete understanding by a little bit of individual counseling, where I fully understand. I accept it, and I had fantastic parents, especially my dad. Even though as far as a father, okay, there were certain limitations that he had. You know, I was in touch with that individual counselor just a couple of days ago. And what I'm going to be sure now, further as I come up to date here, I do not want to involve him in any manner in something. But he is interested in seeing these videos. And since what I'm going to deal with as of today, very soon, I'm going to be sharing that with you. I do not want to involve him in any manner unless, okay? Now I'm going to go for some really high-level substance here in a couple of minutes, okay? I'm going to label this. Let's just finish up where I'm considering that you're grown up and you've made the transition, okay? I'm far from perfect, but I can honestly say I have only experienced the highest level of honesty, integrity, in the healthiest context, okay? And I'm going to conclude this in 1986. Now, there's a whole lot more that really impressed that, where that's been lifelong for over 40 years. Do you know if you can hold on to the highest level of honesty, integrity, the healthiest context for over 40 years? How fortunate I've been in that respect. Oh my God. I mean, I've learned it all. I've validated it. I've thoroughly learned what's true about my makeup in the healthiest context at the highest level. I'm used to creating success. I mean, I'm used to a successful career, of course. That was so impressed from an early age. That career is very important to create success. And it will be interesting what I'm about to share here. I think I'm going to do it by the individual dates because I am limited to about 15 minutes per upload. So I'm going to conclude this one from age 22 through 25. Okay? That would have completed the growing up. Now, it takes an entire lifetime. And yet, that transition to adulthood is so vitally important. Oh, I can imagine if someone works in that field. There's a whole science in that respect. But nope, don't have anything medical in that respect, thank God. Thank God. I do not know if it's learned or it's physiological, but I'm just taking an estimated guess. A lot has to do with it being learned. It's complex. Now I'm sharing all of what I archived in the introduction here. Okay? I'm sorry if I don't mean to mean it that way. I'm disclosing what's true about my background. I am very fortunate. And I've learned that. I know it. The only way I know that is not what I believe. I learned it from someone. So that's the only way I can share it. I understand my perception is head on. Very healthy. Been extremely fortunate to learn about this at a most early age. I'm beginning to wonder, though, I'm the one who made the decision, but I am wondering, how much, I mean, when I was 17 is what I stated. Seeing my mother, she was so, I think I took that wise counsel. You know, when that dentist told me when I was at an early age about sugar, I jumped on that immediately. I picked it up quick. He said, don't be neurotic about it. But I heeded that right off the bat. I'm very quick at taking the highest level and building on that at an exceptionally high level. I don't know exactly where that comes from, but I'm taking a guess as a general environment of what I've experienced throughout my lifetime from a very young age, all the way back to cutting through those backyards. I understand I'm very, very fortunate at the level of growth I've achieved. I'm very, very fortunate. I've learned it all, and there was anything. I've never deviated from the norm, and I never would. Okay? So, 16 minutes, and that's it. I'm going to conclude this one from age 22, 1982 through 1985, and I'm going to pick up 1986 and do it singular for a while here in the following years. Thank you.